What is up, guys? It's yours truly, Delboy here. Hope you guys are doing well. On to something a lot more positive. A quick preview and prediction for Josh Taylor versus Ivan Baranchyk. This fight is obviously part of the World Boxing Super Series, and the winner of this fight awaits Regis Prograis in the final. So regardless of how this pans out, we've got a couple of great fights coming up. And I've got to say, I am thoroughly looking forward to Josh Taylor versus Ivan Baranchyk. Let's briefly talk about the records of both fighters and their general attributes. So Josh Taylor, he has a record of 14-0, 12 of those 14 wins coming by way of knockout, whereas Ivan Baranchyk has a record of 19-0 with 12 of those 19 wins coming by way of knockout. Josh Taylor, he is a southpaw and he's listed as 5'10" with a 69.5-inch reach, whereas Ivan Baranchyk is listed as 5'8" with a 67-inch reach. Baranchyk is an orthodox fighter. So Josh Taylor, he does have a 2.5-inch reach advantage, and also he has a 2-inch height advantage, and maybe that may come into play during this fight. But, now we've got the general stats and facts out of the way, let's kind of discuss how we think this fight's going to go down. Now, I do make Josh Taylor a favourite, but I believe he has his hands full with Ivan Baranchyk. I make Josh Taylor the favourite because, number one, he's actually fought a higher level of competition. He's beaten guys like Victor Postal and Miguel Vasquez. To me, those two guys, especially Postal, is of a higher level than what Barancyk's been in with. So Josh Taylor is more proven at a higher level. And not only that, I personally believe Josh Taylor is more versatile than Ivan Baranchyk. Josh Taylor, he's very good at mid-range, great body puncher, great combination puncher. That's his MO. I think he's best at mid-range when he can dictate the fights and, kind of walk you down, work the body and dissect you. He can outbox you kind of on the front foot. But Taylor is also fairly good on the inside. He's quite accomplished. Nice short uppercuts, good body puncher on the inside as well. And also on the outside, Josh Taylor is quite decent. For example, he's got a lovely jab out of that southpaw stance. Josh Taylor is just fairly well-rounded, and technically he is quite good. Does all the basics well. He can throw every punch in the book. Great balance, great combination puncher, and he can box. Josh Taylor actually reminds me a lot of Errol Spence Jr. in certain ways. He's that type of fighter, just well-rounded, well-schooled, and fairly versatile. And ultimately that's why I give him the edge, because he can do more things than Ivan Baranchyk. Having said that, Baranchyk is good at what he does. Baranchyk is a stocky, strong fighter. He likes to barge forward, he likes to push you back, work on you on the inside, work that body, and he'll try and maul you. Sometimes it's not pretty, but he's got quick feet, he's got fairly quick hands, and he carries good power. And he can really apply immense pressure. Go back and watch his fight with Anthony Yiget, who's actually also a southpaw, by the way. His right hand in that fight was really coming into play. He was landing that shot regularly, he was pushing Yiget back, and the pressure was far too much for Yiget, who was a good boxer. And also before that, you go back to the Petr Petrov fight, and in my opinion that was Barancyk's best performance. Just applied immense pressure and got the knockout. So Baranchyk is good at that. He applies pressure, he'll force you back, he'll make you fight his fight, and he'll try and drag you into a war of attrition. And if Baranchyk can do that against Josh Taylor, I do believe he has a chance to win this fight. Because Josh Taylor can get hit, we've seen that in the past, and look at what happened when Victor Postal got on the inside against Josh Taylor. Now, Victor Postal is a lot different to Ivan Baranchyk. Postal is a cute inside fighter. He shortens up his shots really well. Technically on the inside, Postal is really good. Baranchyk is not that type of inside fighter. He's a guy who relies purely on strength, aggression, and pure will to win. You know, he's not as good technically on the inside as Postal. He's not a guy who's going to shorten those uppercuts up. He's not a guy who can counter on the inside. He's not a guy who's going to display good head control. He is just going to barge forward and try to make the most of his physical attributes. Those being his physical strength, his punching power, his stamina, and his foot speed. And Baranchyk coming forwards is also fairly awkward. He can get low, he can change levels, he can kind of bore in with his head at times. And, you know, because of the type of pressure Baranchyk brings, and because of the foot speed, he's not always easy to time. He's quite awkward coming forwards, and that's also another attribute going into his favour. Baranchyk is fairly awkward. So, if Baranchyk can impose that style on Josh Taylor, I certainly believe he has a chance. I really do. I wouldn't be shocked if Baranchyk could pull off the upset. It wouldn't, be out of the blue to me. But, having said all that, I do believe you have to go with the more versatile fighter. That, of course, being Josh Taylor. I do believe he will have enough to win this fight. I just think he has more tools in the toolbox than Ivan Baranchyk, and he should grind out a hard-fought win. Whether that be by points or maybe even a late stoppage, I don't know. But I think Taylor will have enough in the bag to get the win here. Maybe he could make Baranchyk's aggression count against him. I mean, Baranchyk has been dropped before. Go back and watch his fight with Abel Ramos. Maybe if Taylor could get his timing down and, time Baranchyk coming in with those hooks or those uppercuts, then maybe he could, drop Baranchyk and maybe even get a knockout. That wouldn't surprise me either, to be quite honest with you. Taylor does have very good timing and underrated timing as well. We saw that in his fight with O'Hara Davis, for example. Look at the counterpunches he was landing in that fight. Look at the check right hook he landed in that fight to drop O'Hara Davis. That was a quality shot. And if he could catch Baranchyk coming forwards with something similar, who knows, maybe Taylor could get the knockout. But, it's moments like that make me think Taylor will win this fight. He's just shown more moments of quality, he's shown more versatility, and ultimately he's proven at a higher level. I mean, I rate Baranchyk. He's got a few underrated wins over the likes of Petr Petrov, Anthony Yigit, and Abel Ramos, but is he good enough for top 5 level? Would he beat a Victor Postal, for example, who Josh Taylor's already beat? I'm not so sure. I do believe he would be competitive with pretty much everybody in the division, but does he have enough quality to beat the top guys? I'm not so sure. I've not really seen enough, and what I have seen kind of leads me to believe that he doesn't. I believe defensively he's a bit too open, he's a bit too reckless at times. Again, we go back to that Abel Ramos fight, for example, where he got dropped. I believe Josh Taylor, he's going to win this fight. Close decision, late knockout, I'm not sure. It could be life and death. It could be Josh Taylor's hardest fight of his career to date. But I expect Taylor to get the job done. I think the Scottish crowd will, give him the extra percent. And I think they will kind of spur him on to get the win. And obviously then meet Regis Prograis in the World Boxing Super Series final. So yeah, I'm picking Josh Taylor in this fight. Also, it's worth mentioning that Ivan Baranchyk is the IBF Super Lightweight Champion. So this is also a title fight as well as being the World Boxing Super Series semi-final. But yeah, thoroughly looking forward to this fight. One of the fights I've been looking forward to most this year because I do think there's scope for the underdog to win. But like I said, I am picking Josh Taylor in this fight. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Put in the comments below who you think is going to win. How do you feel this fight is going to play out? Share your thoughts. Peace.